Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest. You just hit $100,000 in your savings account. You worked nights, you skipped vacations, you watched the balance climb from 10,000 to 25,000 to 50,000, and finally, you crossed the line. Six figures, sitting there, in your Chase account, or your Bank of America account, or your Wells Fargo account. And here is the part nobody wants to tell you. If that $100,000 is sitting in a standard savings account at a major American bank right now, that bank is paying you 0.01% interest. That is 1 cent on every $100 per year. Meanwhile, U.S. inflation over the last 3 years has averaged somewhere between 3 and 4% annually. Do the math. Your $100,000 is not just sitting still. It is actively bleeding. Every single day, your money is losing roughly $10 in purchasing power, while the bank is paying you back a single penny. This is what financial planners call the silent tax. And right now, it is stealing your future. But here is the good news. $100,000 is not just a number. In America, it is what we call escape velocity. It is the exact threshold where your money stops being savings and starts becoming a wealth-building machine. The question is, do you know how to use it? Before we get into the strategy, I need you to understand something. Most Americans have no idea where they actually stand. So let me show you the receipts. According to the Federal Reserve's most recent survey of consumer finances, the median American household holds about $8,000 total across all their bank accounts combined. Checking, savings, money market, everything. $8,000. That is the middle of America. The Federal Reserve also reports that only 46% of American adults have enough saved to cover even 3 months of basic expenses. That means more than half of this country is one job loss, one medical bill, one transmission failure away from going into credit card debt. So if you are sitting on $100,000 in liquid cash, I want you to internalize this. You are not average. You are in the top tier of American savers easily, inside the top 15% of households, by liquid net worth. You did the hard part. You saved it. Now we have to make sure you do not waste it. Because here is the brutal truth about wealth in America. The people who make $100,000 and stay broke, and the people who make $100,000 and become millionaires, the difference is not income. It is not luck. It is the next 5 decisions. So let's walk through them. Step 1. Before you invest a single dollar, before you touch the stock market, before you do anything fancy, you build the foundation. This is the emergency fund. And the rule is simple. You need 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, sitting in cash, completely untouchable for anything except a true emergency. We are talking about the absolute minimum you would need to survive if your income disappeared tomorrow. Rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance. For the average American household, that number lands somewhere between $4,000 and $7,000 per month. So 3 months of expenses is roughly $15,000 on the low end. 6 months is closer to $40,000 on the high end. But here's the part that most people get catastrophically wrong. They keep this emergency fund in the same checking account where their paychecks land, at 0.01%. Stop doing that. Right now, in 2026, the best high-yield savings accounts in America, accounts at banks like Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally Bank, SoFi, American Express, and Capital One 360 are paying somewhere between 3.2% and 4.2% APY. Let me put that in perspective. If you park $40,000 in a Chase savings account, you earn about $4 per year. If you park that same $40,000 in a Marcus or SoFi high-yield savings account at, say, 3.65%, you earn about $1,460 per year. Same money, same liquidity, same FDIC insurance up to $250,000. The only difference is the bank is paying you instead of robbing you. Step 2 is going to feel counterintuitive. But trust me, before you invest, before you buy ETFs, before you even max out your retirement accounts, you check your debt. I am talking specifically about high-interest consumer debt, credit cards, personal loans, anything with an interest rate above, let's say, 8%. The average American household carries around $6,500 in revolving credit card debt, and the average credit card APR in America right now is sitting at roughly 24%. When you pay off a credit card with a 24% APR, that is not just paying off a bill. That is the equivalent of earning a guaranteed 24% return on your money, tax-free, risk-free. Warren Buffett does not get 24% guaranteed. Hedge funds do not get 24% guaranteed. Nobody does. You do, but only if you choose to. If the interest rate is above 8%, you destroy it before you invest a single dollar. You take $10,000 from your $100,000 and you wipe it out. What about your mortgage at 6.3%? Leave it alone. We will get to that. What about a federal student loan at 5%? Probably leave that alone too. Then we move on. Step 3 is where the real wealth gets built, and it has nothing to do with picking stocks. It has everything to do with not paying taxes you do not have to pay. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, gives Americans 3 powerful tax advantage buckets. Most people use them backwards, or worse, they ignore them completely. We are going to fill them in the correct order. If your employer offers a 401k plan with an employer match, this is your first move. Always. If you make $80,000 per year and your employer matches 100% of the first 4% you contribute, that is $3,200 of free money every single year. The full 401k contribution limit for 2025 is $23,500. Here is one almost nobody talks about: the Health Savings Account, or HSA. And the HSA is, without exaggeration, the single most powerful tax-advantaged account in the entire American tax code. Why? Because it is the only account with what financial planners call the triple tax advantage. 1. Your contributions are tax-deductible. 2. The money grows tax-free inside the account. 3. When you withdraw the money for qualified medical expenses, those withdrawals are also tax-free. The 2025 HSA contribution limit is $4,300 for self-only coverage and $8,550 for family coverage. The third bucket is the Roth IRA, the Roth Individual Retirement Arrangement. The 2025 contribution limit is $7,000 per year, or $8,000 if you are 50 or older. And when you withdraw it in retirement, you pay zero tax, not a single dollar. Think about this. If you put $7,000 into a Roth IRA at age 30, and that money compounds at an average of 8% per year for 35 years, it grows to over $103,000. Step 4. Now we get to the part everybody wants to talk about: investing. Once your tax-advantaged accounts are full, the rest of your money goes into what is called a taxable brokerage account. You can open one in about 10 minutes at Fidelity, Charles Schwab, or Vanguard. You buy diversified index ETFs. The first is VOO. The second is VTI. That is Vanguard's total stock market ETF. When you buy VOO, you are buying a small slice of the 500 largest publicly traded companies in America. The S&P 500 has averaged roughly 10% annual returns over the last 50 years, before inflation. After inflation, you are looking at a real return of around 7%. That doubles your money roughly every 10 years. Now, here's the trap. The market does not move in a straight line. It crashes, it corrects, it scares people. They try to time the market. They wait for the bottom, and they end up buying high and selling low. The fix is something called dollar cost averaging. DCA is dead simple. You take your investment money and you split it into equal amounts. Then you invest the same amount on the same day every single month, regardless of what the market is doing. Step 5. The question I get more than any other: should I use my $100,000 as a down payment on a house? And honestly, it depends. As of late April 2026, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate in America is sitting at around 6.3%. If you buy a $400,000 home with a 20% down payment, that is $80,000 down. Your loan amount is $320,000. Add property taxes, homeowners insurance, and HOA fees through your escrow account, and you are looking at maybe $2,500 per month minimum. If you put down less than 20%, the lender requires PMI, private mortgage insurance. PMI is essentially extra insurance that protects the bank. That does absolutely nothing for you. If you are going to stay in the home for at least 7 to 10 years, and your career is stable, and you can put down 20% without draining your emergency fund, buying makes sense in most U.S. markets. $7,000 goes into the Roth IRA, the full annual contribution limit. $4,300 goes into the HSA, if eligible. Triple tax advantage. $10,000 boosts the 401k contribution to capture the full employer match for the year. And here is the part nobody on YouTube wants to admit. The boring middle is exactly where actual American millionaires get made. That is it. That is the entire formula. You already did the hardest part. You saved $100,000. And the next time someone asks you what to do with $100,000 saved, you will not have to wonder. You will already be on your way to 1 million. If you learned something, like this video and hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.